Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Peteman Reviews. Today we are reviewing a Transformers Generation 2 Decepticon Road Pig. Road Pig is one of the light cycles. There are only two released, and the idea is they have a weapon which lights up. This is the tail end of the G2 releases, released in 1995, and there were going to be other light cycles which were cancelled following the end of the line. So, start with the backing card. As you can see, the colours are quite bright again. Apparently it says he's a ninja, and I guess you can tell that from the display there in the art. See a Lasercycle which really glows. Well, it does if it's got batteries. And on the back you have the only other light cycle out, Road Rocket, who is an Autobot. The card on the back says of Road Pig that he functions as harassment, and basically a rebel with a reputation, though if he's easily detected by an eternally illuminated engine, that's not much of a ninja really, is it? Oh well, never mind. Comes with a few instructions, pretty basic for the time, so you've got quite a detailed drawing up there, a few ideas which says how it works. The button here to light the illuminations, while the button works, the actual illuminator doesn't, because it doesn't have any batteries in it, and I haven't got the right sort to go in there, unfortunately. Just tells you briefly how it transforms, and there's how to replace the battery. In terms of batteries, it requires it's an A76 cell battery, which the kind you normally have in watches, which are the kind that I don't have any of, so I can't unfortunately make the illumination light up. However, it would be predominantly here and at the front. So in terms of bike itself, pretty good actually. That's one of the more realistic bikes that you see on Transformers. If you zoom a bit, you've got a nice little kickstand there. Unfortunately, because of this exhaust element here, the actual the laser that lights up, it does want to tilt that way. Even with the kickstand down, it still wants to tilt that way, so that's a bit unfortunate. You kind of have to be a bit careful with the balancing. But otherwise, you see the engine's got some pretty nice details. There's a nice Transformers decal on there. You know, you've got some nice seat detail in there. The front looks good. I do like the lights. They're particularly realistic on there. The wheels are nice with the gold trim in the middle. They do rotate round, as you can see. And say the seat, there we are, it's got some quite nice detail into it. All told, it's actually, as I say, it's a really good bike. Probably one of the best that's been produced in the Transformers range. You've even got at the front, not quite sure how clear you can see that, but some, there we are, reasonably realistic controls as well. So yeah, all told, it's a pretty decent bike. So it looks like as a bot. Start off by just popping that to one side here. These are the arms which are holding on to little pegs underneath here, so pop that one out there, pop that one out there. These just rotate up and rotate up like that. Now we'll just do the back. This is probably going to make some horrible ratchet noises because it's barely been transformed in the years, gosh, 23 years potentially since this has been around. But anyway, first of all, this wheel comes out. It's just got a little slide there and round. This will then go down and down like that. Not too bad actually in terms of noises. This comes down like that, and this bit will just, doesn't go down much, it just go down a little bit. Road Pig can then have his arm just rotate like so. You don't have to have it like that. Just depends on whether you want the little hole on there up or whether you want it like that. Because if you have it like that, there's no hole, he has no elbow, so you really have to have it rotated, which unfortunately means that this hole in the plastic becomes visible, but that's the only way to give him the elbow. This arm has the illuminator, and you can see there's the cable, so you're a bit more limited with how you can move it, because as you can see, if you try to rotate it, the cable then goes very, very tight, so it's probably better off not. having that a bit more like that. So robot-wise, well, he's somewhat compromised in terms of his appearance. I will make it look a little better. And that is predominantly the limitations are due to this cable and the actual electronics. You can see here, and he's got a lot of this kibble at the back. The rest of him is actually quite nice and streamlined. The front is definite compromises with this part here and the windscreen do kind of get in the way. It's almost like, I suppose it's a bit like he's wearing body armour perhaps. And it's quite a chunky robot. Ninja head, well, yes, and the way the eyes are done so that they do glow with the light behind is particularly effective. There's not a lot of detail there really. It's more just the fact that the eyes are glowing. But yeah, it kind of works, doesn't it? The only trouble is because of that at the back, he's very, very lopsided towards the back. You really have to have the arm out to try to get any form of balance. And even then, he's not the easiest to balance. It could do with some bigger feet, but unfortunately, all you've got at the front of these tiny little spokes here, it's not really enough to keep him balanced. And so you have to have the arm out just to be able to get any form of shape there. As far as robots goes, yeah, I think there's typically worse transformations. It's not too bad, and with the limitation of the arm with the cable on, although have to be said, Shockwave Generation 1, released, well, especially pre-generation that mould, he's got a cable and his arm movement is considerably more than Road Pig's. I digress. Shockwave was obviously a big premium sale model. Road Pig is not, as shown by the fact that he comes on a backing card and not in a box. So he's obviously a cheaper price point. But yeah, it's quite good. It has some decent articulation. The head has very, very limited articulation, mainly because it keeps getting caught on the back. But it does have some articulation, which again is more than you could expect. Just zoom out a little bit there. The arms, you have quite nice articulation there. Okay, this does move, but you do have to have the compromise of having the hole there. But it does nevertheless have a shoulder and an elbow joint. Knees, well, kind of, but that's more because of that's the way he transforms than anything. And in terms of the legs, yes, the legs do move up and down quite a lot, but because he's so top heavy with this rear wheel here, to actually get him in a mode where he can stand up, you are going to struggle to have the legs in anything other than a basic up pose. So while he does have quite good leg movement, because of the way he actually transforms and designs, you're not going to be able to make use of it. But it's a good toy. A good Generation 2 Transformer, and he would make a good Generation 1 Transformer. In fact, if you had this released in Generation 1, you compare him with some of the Power Masters, or even some of the originals like Jazz, this guy's got far more articulation than they do. He's got the arms, and he's got the legs, and he's got some head movement. The gimmick of the light up, unfortunately I can't show you that, but even without that gimmick it still holds up, and I think works pretty effectively. Indeed, in that pose he's fairly reminiscent of Galvatron, or Megatron if you will. But yeah, I think it works well. As there's only 2 Lasercycles and they were released at the very tail end of Generation 2, they're not that common. You can pick them up. You will pay a little bit extra because of the fact that they're not as common as obviously the earlier Generation 2 re-releases. But I think it's a worthwhile toy to collect. If you get one in decent condition, or in this case good condition, then that's a bonus. But if you can get one without the card, say whether the light up gimmick works or not, doesn't really matter. If you've got one where the light up gimmick doesn't work, it works still as an effective toy without that light up gimmick. So yeah, go for it. Thank you very much for watching. Please click below and look at some more videos of mine. Why not subscribe as well, and check out some of my other colleagues' work as well, and tell me what you think. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.